Commissioner, obviously, it's no secret to where we are, and I know you took a hard hat tour. You've been touring the site there. What were your initial reaction? What are your initial thoughts of what's going on there?
It's incredible, just the magnitude of the project, the historic nature of it for Southern Nevada. And then once you really get in there and you walk around that building, you can see at any given time 1,000 hard hats working hard, getting a really strong, more than livable wage. The 6,500 people that are going to work on this project throughout the two-year construction project, that really gets you excited, and gets you emotional too when you really get to see people face to face when they've in many cases been looking for that job for a long time. Now that the cranes are up and the structure is up, it's incredible to see as you drive along the 15, in my case every day heading to the county building. It is really inspiring to see as it comes up out of the ground, and what that really means to the people who've worked on it.
It's very taken ownership of this project, everything. Commissioner, one thing I've been surprised, we've been sitting up here for maybe half an hour before you got here, and dozens of people have come by and are taking video, taking selfies, taking photos of this place already.
I think that's right. I think it's that combination of really like I said, the historic nature of this project. 65,000 seat stadium, that's unlike anything that Southern Nevada has seen before, and anything that has to do with the NFL draws international attention like this project is and does.
Let's go down the list of some of the things that I think locals are all asking questions about, and whether it's informed or not. Let's talk first about parking. I know Mr. Webb recently in the most recent meeting, they aren't quite ready to unveil their plan, but they're much getting closer to the number of prescribed parking spots at places they should. Talk to me about parking.
I think that's right, and they are getting closer. They're working hard on it. They know it's a priority. They've doubled the 2,700 or so on-site spaces. They've doubled that. They're getting much closer to the 16,250 spaces that the county would like to see here accommodate for people coming to the stadium. But you also have to pay close attention to the really, I think, unprecedented number of pedestrians who are going to be coming to this stadium. For better or worse, a lot of fans coming to an NFL game are going to be away fans. I think that'll change as time goes on and as Las Vegans become aligned with the Raiders brand. But at least initially, we're seeing a pretty large percentage of fans that are going to be coming to this stadium rooting for another team. And that means we like that, right? Because they're coming from out of town, they're coming for a weekend, hopefully. They're spending money on on the Strip, paying that hotel tax and paying to keep this town going. But because of that, I think we're going to have a situation where there are a large number of pedestrians. The Raiders, the Stadium Authority, is estimating it to be about 25,000 for an NFL game. That will just be 25,000 pedestrians coming to the stadium. So we've been facilitating meetings between MGM, we being the county, between MGM, the Raiders, other stakeholders, to speak to them about using the Hacienda Bridge as pedestrian only for game days, actually in all event days, converting some portion of that to pedestrian only. And I think that is perfectly placed near the Mandalay Bay property. I've walked it. It'll become more walkable as that pathway gets developed. But even in the interim, it's a short walk to the gateway to the stadium.
Perfect. Let's talk a little bit about public transit. TNC, the Ubers and Lyfts, this is the first stadium that has been designed in this era, so they're certainly considering that. And of course, our good friends at the RTC, they've done an amazing job getting people in and out of the T-Mobile, which is just over here. We're going to see those types of ways to get to the stadium ramped up also.
You're so right, Randy. When T-Mobile came online, I think it's obviously smaller, but we still had trepidation and concern about how you're going to get all these people in and out of a stadium, particularly when you're looking at a sporting event. You're talking about, you might have people come within a 2-hour window, arrive at the stadium within a 2-hour window, but they're leaving, particularly in a close game, they're leaving within a 20 to 30 minute window. So being able to have all options available, in addition to clean paths for them to walk back to the Strip, in addition to cleaning up the roads so that people can leave by car or head back to the satellite parking lots, of which there's going to be 4. and then also have those rideshare options, which I think is really exciting because we're not converting a space to accommodate rideshare. We are, or they are building it to accommodate that rideshare program. And then you alluded to the RTC. They've done a fantastic job across the street here at T-Mobile with the express buses that they run throughout the valley to get people in and out. That's been really effective, and I know they're looking at the similar program here at the stadium.
Commissioner, you talked about people coming to these events, and again, an unintended consequence is I know when I go to a hockey game, I get there an hour and a half, 2 hours early, and of course football has that built-in tailgating atmosphere and culture. So I think it is, are people going to be maybe surprised that it isn't going to be as bad as much around here?
I'm optimistic about it. I think you also have just what you're saying. You have that built-in well, there's a built-in stigma that comes with it, but I think your mindset is prepared for that. When you're paying what you pay to come to a football game or to any event, you know, any one of the events that's going to be held here, you want to make an evening out of it. You want to come, you want to participate in the excitement, you want to be around the other fans. So I think you will, you know, certainly the entrance I don't think is going to be a problem. It's the egress at the end of the event that we really need to be cautious about. You've got fans that are excited and energized, particularly with a sports event, but really any major event that's going to be held here. So we want to make sure that people are safe and feel comfortable with their options when they're coming and going.
And Commissioner, finally, I know the county is doing a stadium overlay district. What's an overlay district? What types of things does that encompass?
Well, I think we want to make sure we have this wonderful resource that is the stadium, and in addition, which we briefly touched on, in addition to the football games that we're going to have here, we are having year-round events here. We're going to be able to attract things that Southern Nevada has never considered qualifying for because we haven't had a venue quite like this. So that 65,000 seat facility gives us options to get things like a international football match or a Beyonce concert. Someone like Beyonce has never been able to come here because they require those seats, the large-scale facilities. So I'm excited about that, and I think that what we want to do with the stadium overlay is make sure that this is all cohesive, synergetic, fits in well together. And part of that, something that I'm really excited about and glad that the Raiders are doing, is they're working with all the small businesses and landowners in and around the stadium within a mile, people who are within that overlay district and who are within walking distance, because a lot of the events are going to happen outside of normal business hours. So it gives an opportunity for those folks to come in under a cooperative and basically sublet their parking spaces to fans who are coming for an event. And I think that's great because it's going to be safe. You know, instead of having a small business person stand out there with a fanny pack trying to police their own parking lot, they're going to have the option of coming in under this cooperative. They're going to have insurance taken care of, security taken care of, and the marketing of their spots will be handled.
And I think common sense is going to prevail. Any of us that have lived here for a long time, we know our Aunt Gertrude comes to town. We're not sightseeing on a Saturday night during a fight night to take her down to see the Strip. And if someone is going to church on a Sunday game day or something like that, maybe they need to leave a little bit earlier, perhaps take a different route to get to where they're going.
I think you're right. Las Vegans are nothing if not adaptable, and that's part of our branding, is how we change and adapt over time. And I think this is an exciting piece of that adaptation, but we'll figure it out together as a community.
And finally, I'm a Raiders fan. I've got my tickets. I'm excited about this, but gosh, your alma mater, a little football team down the street, has been looking for a place to play, and this is a great benefit for UNLV, for the Rebels, moving into a state-of-the-art stadium for virtual pennies.
You're so right, Randy, and that was part of something that was really important to a lot of the leadership during the construction and design of this project. When I was in the other day, I was touring the UNLV locker rooms, which is so exciting, and you can look similarly what T-Mobile, what having the Golden Knights here has meant for the hockey program at UNLV. Surprisingly, I don't think a lot of people knew this before the Knights were here, but we actually always had a really good, or in recent years, had a really good hockey program at UNLV. And they've, by using the City National space over in Summerlin, they've really been able to expand a lot of that program and have state-of-the-art facilities just like our football team at UNLV will have, thanks to the stadium.